In this demo, I'm going to walk you through two new features we've added to Bud AI Foundry: tool calling and the reasoning parser. They give you a consistent way to extract tool calls and separate reasoning from models' final answers, regardless of model-specific response formats. First, let's see how to access these features. Log into your Bud AI Foundry dashboard and open a project. Let's say you want to deploy an agent in this project. Start by creating a model deployment. Pick your model, choose whether you want dedicated or shared hardware, select a deployment template, and then choose the cluster where it will run. On the next screen, you'll notice two optional features: tool calling and the reasoning parser, that you can enable for supported models. Tool calling lets a model use external tools to fetch data or perform actions it cannot do through text generation alone. For example, fetching real-time data from an API, running calculations, or interacting with other systems. This makes it a key building block for agentic systems. However, the challenge teams face is that tool calling formats aren't standardized. Different models have different response formats that use different templates and syntaxes. For example, GPT-OSS uses the Harmony response format, while others like DeepSeek and 𝗥𝗲 follow their own conventions. If you want to evaluate or switch between models, you often end up manually switching to different tool parsers or rewriting tool call parsing logic each time, which is tedious and error-prone. Bud's tool calling feature removes that overhead. When tool calling is enabled, Bud automatically detects the model you're using and applies the correct tool parser, so you don't have to worry about format differences or templates. That means you can focus on your workflow and agent logic, not string parsing. To use it, just enable tool calling when deploying a model that supports it. The reasoning parser works very similarly to the tool parser. By default, reasoning models often return both their internal thinking steps and the final user-facing answer in the model response, all bundled together as a single string. Each model has its own way of marking this: different tags, different casing, different templates. If you integrate this directly, your UI might show internal reasoning to end users, or you'll be forced to write custom parsing logic to extract the reasoning and final answer for every model. That's exactly what the reasoning parser solves. When you enable it, Bud AI Foundry automatically detects where the thinking starts and ends, splits it from the final answer, and returns them as two separate variables. When you enable these options, you don't have to guess which tool or reasoning parser to use for different models, or how the model formats its tool calls or reasoning tags. Bud takes care of that automatically. That's a quick look at tool calling and the reasoning parser in Bud AI Foundry. Turn them on in your next deployment and start building AI systems that are not just smarter, but easier to integrate, debug, and scale.